Hollywood's golden on-screen couple from Pretty Woman and Runaway Bride, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, always seemed to share a magical chemistry that made fans believe their bond extended far beyond the screen. But for years, whispers have circulated that things between the two stars weren't nearly as picture-perfect behind the scenes. Now, after decades of silence, Julia Roberts is finally breaking her silence. And what she's revealing about Richard Gere isn't what fans wanted to hear. Their connection began in the late 1980s, when both were at pivotal moments in their careers. Richard Gere, the established heartthrob known for his smoldering presence, and Julia Roberts, the up-and-coming actress with that unforgettable smile, were paired together for Pretty Woman. The film became a massive success, transforming Julia into Hollywood's sweetheart and cementing Richard's status as one of the industry's most desirable leading men. But according to Julia's recent remarks, the chemistry that dazzled audiences didn't always exist once the cameras stopped rolling. In a resurfaced interview, Julia admitted that working with Richard wasn't as easy as people thought. "He was very professional but distant," she shared. "We had our moments of laughter, but there were days it felt like we were from different worlds." Insiders from the set confirmed that while they respected each other as actors, there were creative clashes, particularly over how certain scenes should be played. Julia, known for her emotional authenticity, reportedly felt that Richard was too rigid in his approach, while Richard thought Julia could be too impulsive. Things didn't improve much when they reunited for Runaway Bride almost a decade later. By then, both stars were older, more experienced, and even more set in their ways. Julia's growing influence in Hollywood gave her a stronger voice in creative decisions, and some insiders claim that Richard didn't take kindly to her suggestions. One crew member described the atmosphere as icy professionalism, saying the two spoke mostly through assistants unless cameras were rolling. Despite the behind-the-scenes tension, both actors delivered another box office hit. Yet Julia now admits that it came at an emotional cost. "People saw a romantic comedy," she said, "but what they didn't see were two actors trying very hard to make it look effortless." Her words struck fans hard, shattering the illusion that their chemistry was natural and easy. Richard Gere, for his part, has rarely spoken about their working relationship. When asked in past interviews, he's always maintained a polite distance, saying, "Julia's wonderful. She's got great energy." But sources close to both stars say there was more complexity than either has ever fully revealed. Some believe their differences stemmed from their contrasting personalities. Richard's quiet spirituality versus Julia's fiery humor and spontaneity. Rumors also circulated that Julia once felt overshadowed by Richard during the promotion of Pretty Woman. Though the film catapulted her to fame, it was initially marketed more around Richard's established image. Julia reportedly told friends that it took her years to feel she was finally being recognized for her own talent, and not just as Richard Gere's co-star. Now, at this stage in her life, Julia Roberts seems ready to reflect on those years without sugarcoating. In a recent podcast appearance, she said, "I'm grateful for every project, but not every experience was joyful. Some of them taught me patience and when to walk away." Many fans interpreted that as a subtle nod to her time working with Gere. It's a bittersweet revelation for movie lovers who grew up believing in the magic of their on-screen love stories. The truth, as Julia tells it, is that while the chemistry was real on camera, off-camera it was a careful performance of professionalism and restraint. It doesn't erase the beauty of their films, but it reminds fans that even Hollywood's most iconic partnerships are often far more complicated than they appear. Regardless of the tension, one thing remains certain. Together, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere created moments of movie magic that will live forever. But now, as Julia opens up about the less glamorous side of that partnership, it's clear that the fairy tale wasn't quite as romantic behind the curtain as the world once believed.